Imagine being just 15 years old, full of dreams and hope, hitchhiking to start a new chapter in life. The road ahead seems open and endless, then out of nowhere, everything changes in an instant. A seemingly kind stranger pulls over, offers a ride, and you think, this is my lucky break. But what happens next defies comprehension. It starts with small talk, harmless enough. The stranger, an older man, is polite, even fatherly. You feel at ease, unaware of what's to come. The miles pass, the sun begins to set, and the atmosphere shifts. A wrong turn. A growing sense of unease. Then it happens. The unthinkable. You're thrown into a nightmare so brutal, so unimaginable, that survival seems impossible. Your screams go unheard, your cries for help lost in the emptiness of the wilderness. But somehow, through sheer willpower and strength, you fight back. Even as your body gives out, your mind refuses to. You don't stop. You can't stop. What you endure is beyond anything most could ever imagine, and yet you survive. This is the story of Mary Vincent, a story of courage that would forever change the course of justice, and a story that you won't be able to forget. Welcome to True Crime Files, the channel where we uncover the most gripping stories of crime, survival, and the relentless pursuit of justice. Every story we tell is real, every detail matters, and every voice deserves to be heard. If you're captivated by stories of resilience and bravery, tales that shine a light on the human spirit's ability to endure even the darkest moments, then you're in the right place. Make sure to hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a single episode. We post weekly, bringing you the stories that stay with you long after they've ended. Now let's continue with one of the most unforgettable cases of survival ever told, the story of Mary Vincent. It was September 29th, 1978. The air was warm, the California sun beginning its descent into a golden haze. 15-year-old Mary Vincent stood by the side of the road, her thumb outstretched, hopeful. Hitchhiking was a common way to travel then, cheap, quick, and for many, a ticket to a new beginning. Mary was heading south, hoping to escape the struggles of her life and find solace with family in Los Angeles. She was just a teenager, filled with the kind of dreams and innocence that hadn't yet been eroded by the harsh realities of the world. A van slowed to a stop. The driver, an older man with a kind demeanor, smiled warmly and offered her a ride. His name was Lawrence Singleton. He seemed harmless, friendly even. Mary hesitated at first, but eventually climbed into the van, reassured by his calm voice and unthreatening appearance. As they began their journey, Lawrence chatted casually, sharing anecdotes and asking about her life. To Mary, he seemed trustworthy, like someone who might even remind her of a protective uncle. But as the miles passed, things began to shift. Lawrence took an unexpected turn off the highway. Mary's heart quickened. She questioned him, and he responded with an excuse. I need to stop for something. Despite her rising unease, she stayed in the van, uncertain but not yet alarmed. Soon the detour turned into isolation. They were far from the main road, deep in a desolate area where no one could hear her if she screamed. Then it began. Lawrence's demeanor changed completely. He attacked her with brutal force, overpowering her before she could react. He bound her hands, rendering her defenseless. The assault that followed was horrific, an act of cruelty so profound that it defies comprehension. Hours passed as Mary endured unimaginable pain, her cries swallowed by the emptiness around them. And then, just when she thought it couldn't get worse, Lawrence made a decision that would change her life forever. He dragged Mary from the van and retrieved a hatchet. Without hesitation, he severed her arms at the forearms, both of them. His intent was clear, to eliminate any chance of her survival. Bleeding profusely, Mary fell to the ground, her body teetering on the edge of death. Lawrence pushed her body into a drainage ditch, leaving her there to die. He believed the job was done. But Mary wasn't finished. Despite the agony, the shock, and the overwhelming loss of blood, something deep within her refused to give up. She realized quickly that if she didn't act, she would die there, alone and forgotten. Fighting against the searing pain, she packed her wounds with dirt and mud to slow the bleeding. It wasn't enough to stop it, but it was enough to buy her time. Then, with no arms and no help in sight, she began to walk. Step by step, She forced herself forward, her bare feet scraping against the rocky terrain. She could see no lights, no signs of life, just the endless stretch of wilderness before her. The loss of blood made her dizzy, and the pain was relentless. But she kept going. Her determination was fierce, her will to survive unshakable. Nearly 3 miles later, Mary stumbled onto a road. The sight of headlights in the distance was both a relief and a terror. Would they stop? Would they help? She positioned herself in the middle of the road, forcing a car to halt. The couple inside was horrified by the sight of a young girl covered in blood, missing both arms, but they didn't hesitate. They wrapped her in towels and rushed her to the nearest hospital, saving her life. In the days that followed, Mary's story shocked everyone who heard it. Against all odds, she had survived an ordeal that would have killed most. She underwent extensive surgeries and began the long process of physical and emotional recovery. But what was perhaps even more remarkable was her courage in the face of justice. Mary didn't just survive, she fought back. When Lawrence Singleton was arrested, it was Mary's testimony that put him behind bars. Sitting in the courtroom, she faced him, her prosthetic arms a testament to the horrors he had inflicted. She described the attack in detail, ensuring there was no doubt of his guilt. Singleton was convicted and sentenced to 14 years in prison, the maximum allowed at the time. Yet even as he was led away, he turned to Mary and muttered a chilling threat. "I'll finish the job if it takes me the rest of my life." For Mary, the fight didn't end there. Singleton's early release after serving just 8 years outraged the public and led to changes in California's laws. Mary became a vocal advocate for victims' rights, using her story to push for justice not just for herself, but for others who might suffer at the hands of violent criminals. Her journey of survival didn't just end with physical recovery. She channeled her pain into art, creating works that reflected her resilience and strength. Her story continues to inspire countless people, a reminder of the incredible power of the human spirit to endure and overcome. This is not just a story of survival, it is a story of defiance, of standing up against unimaginable odds, and of reclaiming life in the aftermath of unimaginable cruelty. Mary Vincent's courage is a beacon, shining light on the darkest corners of humanity, and reminding us all of the strength we carry within. Mary Vincent's journey of survival was only the beginning. The strength that carried her through those brutal hours in the wilderness now had to face a new challenge: justice. After her recovery, Mary made a decision that many would find impossible. She chose to confront the man who had tried to destroy her. She would not hide. She would not let him escape accountability. She would testify. In doing so, she not only ensured that Lawrence Singleton was punished for his horrific crime, but also demonstrated the power of speaking up against violence and injustice. Mary's choice to testify played a pivotal role in the outcome of the case. By providing a detailed account of her ordeal in court, she ensured there was no doubt of his guilt. Singleton was convicted and sentenced to 14 years in prison, the maximum allowed at the time. However, his early release after serving just 8 years caused public outrage and led to changes in California's laws. This became a turning point in the state's justice system, with Mary at the forefront of a movement calling for stricter punishments for violent crimes. Her resilience didn't stop at surviving. She used her voice to protect others from experiencing similar trauma. Mary's journey didn't end with this case. In the courtroom, Mary sat just feet away from the man who had caused her unimaginable pain. Lawrence Singleton sat there, calm, showing no signs of remorse, but Mary didn't falter. With her prosthetic arms and a voice steadied by courage, she recounted every detail of the attack. She described the ride, the wrong turn, the assault, and the horrific moment when he severed her arms. She told the court how she fought to survive, how she packed her wounds with mud, and how she walked for miles to find help. Her testimony was powerful and undeniable. It painted a clear picture of Singleton's guilt, leaving no room for doubt. Her courage didn't just convict him, it gave a voice to every victim who had been silenced, a reminder that even in the face of unimaginable terror, the truth can prevail. The court found Singleton guilty of multiple charges, including attempted murder, and he was sentenced to the maximum term allowed at the time, 14 years in prison. But even as Singleton was led away, his final words to Mary were chilling. He turned to her and said, "I'll finish the job if it takes me the rest of my life." Those words haunted her, but they also fueled her resolve. Mary had survived his violence. Now she would survive his threats. The relief of his conviction was short-lived. 8 years later, Singleton was released from prison on good behavior. 8 years for a crime that had left Mary permanently disfigured and emotionally scarred. The public was outraged. How could a man capable of such brutality be allowed to walk free after serving only a fraction of his sentence? Singleton's release became a flashpoint for change, and Mary became the face of a movement to reform the justice system. Her case led to the creation of California's Singleton Bill, a law that imposed harsher penalties for violent crimes and ensured that perpetrators like Singleton could not be released so easily in the future. This legal victory was a testament to Mary's determination, her willingness to relive her trauma to protect others. It was proof that even in the darkest moments, change is possible. But Mary didn't stop there. Her story could have ended with survival and justice, but she chose to write a new chapter. She turned her pain into purpose, becoming an advocate for victims' rights. She shared her story with others, offering hope to those who had suffered similar horrors. Mary's voice became a powerful tool for change, and she used it to push for reforms that would prevent others from experiencing what she had endured. Her journey of healing extended beyond advocacy. Mary found solace in art, a medium that allowed her to express emotions that words could not capture. Through her work, she transformed pain into beauty, creating pieces that reflected her resilience and her unbreakable spirit. Her art was more than a hobby, it was a testament to her strength, a way to reclaim control over her life. Each piece told a story, not just of survival but of triumph. Mary's life after the attack was not without challenges. The physical and emotional scars remained, but she refused to let them define her. She chose to define herself by her actions, by her ability to overcome, and by the legacy she built in the wake of tragedy. She became a symbol of strength for countless people, proving that no matter how much is taken from you, there is always something left to give. Today, Mary Vincent's name is synonymous with resilience. Her story is taught as a lesson in courage, a reminder that the human spirit can endure even the most unimaginable pain. Her fight for justice didn't just change the laws, it changed lives, and her ability to transform her suffering into a force for good continues to inspire people around the world. Mary's life is proof that survival is not the end of the story. It is the beginning. It is the moment when strength is found, when purpose is reclaimed, and when hope begins to grow again. Mary Vincent didn't just survive, she prevailed. After hearing about the unimaginable ordeal Mary endured, it's hard not to wonder, what would you have done in her situation? Alone, injured, and miles from help, could you have found the strength to keep going? Let us know in the comments below. Your thoughts matter, and we'd love to hear how you think you would have responded in such a moment of crisis. And when it comes to the legal changes sparked by Mary's case, there's an important question to ask. Do you believe the reforms went far enough? Should laws be even stricter to ensure that violent offenders never have the chance to harm again? If you think these changes were a step in the right direction, hit the like button to show your support. We want to hear your opinions. What do you think about Mary's bravery, about the justice system, and about the way one person's story can lead to such significant change? Let us know, and don't forget to join the conversation by subscribing to stay updated on stories like Mary's that challenge us to reflect, act, and push for a better world. Mary Vincent's story is one that stays with you long after you've heard it. It's a story of unimaginable pain, of extraordinary resilience, and of a young woman's unyielding determination to seek justice, not just for herself, but for others who could be spared from a similar fate. Her courage in the face of horror changed not only her own life, but also the lives of countless others, leaving a lasting mark on our justice system and a powerful legacy of strength. But this is only one of many stories where survival and justice intertwine in ways that challenge everything we think we know. Next week, we'll uncover another incredible story of survival, a tale that will make you question the boundaries of human strength and the choices we make in the face of unimaginable odds. If Mary's story inspired you, please take a moment to like this video, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel for more. Don't forget to share this video with someone who might need to hear this story, because sometimes a story of survival can inspire strength in someone who needs it most. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode of True Crime Files.